every turn was so high context playing it. This has always been a really fun match to watch when both players know what they're doing.
All right, I figured it out. I figured the joke out, okay? You said, like Matthias Hunt, I'm a man who
I wear many
hats. I said, like the guy with 4 butts, I made an ass of myself.
Mercy. Players underway here. Lee on the play with the polluted Delta. Syed leading on Mountain into Monastery Swift Spear. We're going to see that Delta cracks.
I'm sorry.
I think we got a fatal push coming. We'll see if it's off a Swamp. It's off a Watery Grave, though. Lee will fetch down to 17. And there is the fatal push.
Now, it's telling to me a little bit that Russell, not only does he want a shock on the first turn, but he also wants to push on the first turn, which means that he wants to get his life total down to a reasonable level for the Death Shadows while also utilizing his mana. But here we see why he wanted to utilize his mana, because he doesn't have a second land.
Miss for Lee on turn 2. Thought Scour. That's going to put enough cards in the graveyard for this Gurmag Angler in hand. I guess one off, but yeah, miss on the second land, like you said. Go back over to Syed. Has a Sunbaked Canyon and a Riftbolt on Suspend.
Yeah, but not having a follow-up creature here means that Russell's going to have a reasonable amount of time to get back into this game. Finds his second land drop. Can just hard cast a Gurmag Angler right now for shocking himself and 2 mana.
All right, so here's that land, Watery Grave, lead of 15, and here's Gurmag Angler emptying the graveyard. Real big fish, real big problem for the burn deck.
I was never a real big fan of real big fish. I don't know why.
Riftbolt coming off Suspend for Syed.
Tough choice for Zan. I believe he has a Lightning Helix in hand at the very least, so he could double up on the Gurmag Angler. I would probably recommend doing that just because once the Shadow deck gets to untap with one of those creatures, turns on stuff like Stubborn Denial, makes it a lot harder for you to actually close the game. And it virtually invalidates any creature you may draw from here on out.
Lead of 12 off the Riftbolt. Syed's going to play land number 3, another Mountain. See how he wants to progress from here. This is a list with 4 Skewer the Critics, no Skullcrack, so of the Patrick Sullivan school of thought.
I think the joke here is Zan actually has probably a couple of sorcery speed burn spells in hand. Doesn't want to let Russell get super low, deploy some giant Death Shadows, pair that with a Stubborn Denial, and then maybe Zan loses by like 1 turn or something. So he's trying to parse together a sequence that allows him to might actually be going for the Gurmag Angler here, but he might just be main phasing to play around said Stubborn Denial and turn on that Skewer.
Looks like just shoving upstairs. Lightning Helix and Skewer the Critics. Spent 1 to do it, so 19, then back to 22 off the Helix. Lead down to 6.
Yeah, but 6 is a dangerous number. That's just 2 Lava Spikes away from death. Zan's deck is full of these spells that do 3 damage, and Russell Lee's tapping out here for a Jace Vryn's Prodigy? Question mark?
Gurmag Angler attacked, but yeah, tapping out for Jace. Now, if Syed had it, you'd see it, right? Opponent's at 6, tapped out. I suppose you gotta respect Force of Negation,
that's what I was gonna say.
But not really, right? Suspend. This is a cast of Riftbolt, actually. No, it's a Suspend and a cast of Lightning Helix. So he was 1 mana shy of doing it all.
Yeah, it's the downside of Riftbolt. You give your opponent like 1 turn of reprieve, or half a turn of reprieve, or whatever. But I think that Russell is going to need a Stubborn Denial. Doesn't find it, packs it in.
Jace went a looking, found a Thought Seize. That one's no good. Syed's going to take down game number 1 as players look to their sideboards.
Yeah, things could have gone poorly for Zan on the turn where Russell cast the Jace Vryn's Prodigy. You know, if he just plays 2 Death Shadows, Zan is unable to kill him on the following turn. He's at 6 with 2 7-power Death Shadows and a 5/5 Gurmag Angler, right? Like, things are looking pretty bleak, but Russell didn't have that pressure. Zan able to navigate that game quite well.
So for Syed, the sideboard, 4 core Firewalkers, ready for the mirror in the Texas heat. 3 Smash to Smithereens, 2 Grim Lavamancers, 2 Path to Exiles. There's our 2 Seasoned Pyromancers and 2 Skullcracks.
I mean, you said it. Core Firewalker is the mirror breaker. It's not that good in this matchup, but there are a few red removal cells running around that it does dodge, but it's definitely not a card for this matchup. I would likely bring in Path to Exile to help contain those larger threats. Seasoned Pyromancer seems like a go wide kind of card that allows you to sometimes just refill your hand in a matchup where your opponent hits you with a bunch of discard spells, which Grixis Death Shadow is prone to do. And then I might bring in Grim Lavamancer to just kind of tax the removal spells from Grixis Death Shadow.
Sideboard for Lee. Pretty big one up top. 3 Collective Brutality.
And
couple of Braids.
bring it in.
2 Damping Spheres.
Get it out.
2 Disdainful Strokes.
No, sir. Everything costs 2 or 3.
2 additional Kolaghan's commands.
That one I do like. It kills most of the creatures that Zan can play and can force Zan to discard a card. And that 2-for-1 is occasionally your way to run them completely out of gas.
2 Plague Engineer.
Nothing is 1 toughness. Not really worthwhile.
Liliana's.
Get in the deck!
The Veil and the Last Hope.
Not the other one. Just the first.
Just the Veil.
Just the Veil.
All right. Players playing Modern this weekend. New Modern, and there's also some shakeups in other formats. New Commander
old
decks.
Modern.
Yeah, old Modern definitely shaken up. No longer exists. But there's new Commander
I would say
decks.
that's pretty shaken up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It shook all the way out.
Yeah, sorry.
Commander 2019 edition. You can order that today. These decks are out. I got my hands on the cards I want for my cubes, but if you don't have them yet, go to go.starcitygames.com/C19. Some pretty cool ones here. You got the Madness theme, the Flashback theme, the other ones.
The vampire theme?
The vampire one's the Madness. There's a Morph deck, which is pretty cool, actually. There's an artifact that costs 3 and it lets you tap to manifest a card from your hand. I think that design is really interesting.
That is really cool. Kind of gives me some... what's the old artifact that you could use with Fire Action Dreadnought to do that kind of thing?
Illusory Mask?
Yes. It kind of gives me some Illusory Mask vibes. Illusionary Mask, or was it?
Illusionary Mask, that is it. You're correct. I thought I was wrong, but it was the only word I came up with.
Look, sometimes when you think you're wrong, it's best to just power through.
This is a live broadcast, so you got to fill the air.
Okay, full disclosure.
Yeah.
I've had about 2 hours of sleep in the last 36 or so. I came from my plane to here.
You were in your street clothes when you rolled up. You had to change on
I had
site.
on some flip-flops.
Yeah.
I'm, I don't want to say I'm loopy, but, I ain't driving.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's smart. Cedric's driving.
Yeah, I cannot wait for some fried chicken.
We are so close.
For those of
Gus's
you,
fried chicken.
for those of you unaware, Gus's famous fried chicken, a chain of sorts. There are a few of them. There are not a lot, but it's insanely good fried chicken. Happens to be one in Fort Worth. I think there's one in Memphis as well.
I hope we have the same server we had last time.
Oh yeah, that dude was dope.
So like a lot of different meals have kind of regional names, obviously. Like the one that comes to mind, maybe not a great example, but like the Philly cheesesteak or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like you call a meal that town or whatever. And Cedric was trying to think of a name for a 4-piece chicken meal. And he asked the server, he says, what's the 4-piece that, comes with these size or whatever? And the server just doesn't change, doesn't miss a beat, no expression, just says 2 2-pieces.
I forgot.
That was so good.
I forgot that.
Yeah, Director Rob was there. We had a great time. Yeah, Rob's from He was a Metallica roadie. I remembered he mentioned he roadied for several big bands that people have heard of.
Yeah.
Really cool dude. All right, we are underway in game number 2. Lee leading with Scalding Tarn. Game 1, Syed started with a 1-mana creature that got Fatal Pushed. This time, he'll start with Suspending Rift Bolt.
I don't know if that's good news or bad news for Russell. I know that whenever I'm on the play, my opponent never has their Goblin Guide or whatever running into my Fatal Push. But whenever I'm on the draw, they always have it. Just always.
This time, Lee is going to find a basic land, fetches to 19, finds Island, Thought Scour.
He's going to let Zan do a lot of the heavy lifting on his life total. He's going to just fetch up basics, at least for now, so he doesn't deal himself too much damage.
Stubborn Denial and Collective Brutality hitting the bin off the Scour. Those are ones he'd rather draw, though Lee has drawn both of those cards. Other copies in hand. Rift Bolt coming off Suspend, Lee to 16.
Yeah, Stubborn Denial's not too big of a factor unless you already have a giant creature on the battlefield. Having that threat and backing it up with the counterspell is usually what helps you seal the deal against combo decks and burn and the like.
See Sayed on turn 2 with a mountain and an attack with a Monastery Swift Spear.
All right, I'm going to do a thing. I'm just going to need you to roll with it.
All right.
Okay. Sail!
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry. Mostly
I get that a lot.
Mostly not sorry.
I get that a lot.
There's a Grim Lavamancer for Sayed. Turn 3 for Lee. Pluted Delta. Cracks that to 14 right away.
This sounds and looks like a Kolaghan's Command is incoming. I'm not sure what Russell wants to hit with this Kolaghan's Command as far as creatures are concerned. Definitely going to make him discard. Then he's got to deal 2 to one of these creatures.
There's the tap of 3 mana. It is Kolaghan's Command. A shock and a discard coming in. Target the Swift Spear while it's at 2 toughness.
Yeah, and that takes away... it makes it so that if Zan wants to get max value out of the Grim Lavamancer, he has to basically spend a turn activating it. And that mana means sometimes you cast 1 less spell.
The discard was a mountain as we go back Sayed's way. Sunbaked Canyon will be the land for turn.
You know what song I'm talking about, though, right?
I do know the song.
All right,
yeah.
Just in case that was, it's a good song.
It's a fine song.
It's fine.
It's fine when the people that perform the song perform it.
Oh, I see. You're doing the middle school joke. You're middle school joking on me.
Yeah.
Hey, who sings that song? Oh yeah, just
let them. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So Riftbolt on suspend for Sayed.
You are the worst.
All right. Yeah, I get that a lot.
All right, so Russell here looks like he's going to go for the brutality. Now it's a question of whether he wants to escalate once or twice. Looks like he's going to escalate just the once. Going to go minus on the Lavamancer, discard. And Zan probably has a couple of 2-drop spells in hand, and one of them's getting taken.
Snapcaster Mage actually discarded to the brutality.
Huh. That means Russell's hand is stacked.
You would think. So Lavamancers are going to be activated in response. 2 points going upstairs, lead to 12. And it's the look at the hand. We see Helix and Skewer the Critics.
Now the life total might come into play, so the Helix might matter more, but the Skewer is only going to cost 1 mana, so there is a decision to be made there. Russell goes for the one that can pad Zan's life total a bit.
Helix was selected. We see the Riftbolt coming off suspend, lead to 9.
Yeah, with Skewer is effectively at 6. Zan just needs a couple more 1 mana, 3 damage spells. He has a Boros Charm off the top. That's nice.
Lead to 5. Sayed's going to use the Canyon to 19. Skewer will knock lead to 2.
All right, let's see if Russell can stabilize from this point.
Looks like 2 Stubborn Denials at hand to go with this 11/11 Death Shadow. Perfect draw for Sayed would be Eidolon of the Great Revel. Instead, just a pass.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. Russell only has 1 blue mana, so even though he has 2 Stubborn Denials, there's a chance he dies before he's able to utilize them. And Zan can also now just maybe peel something like Goblin Guide.
Well, at this point, Lee has a Braid and Stubborn Denial up.
Sure. Okay. So it has to be a Burn Spell EOT here, followed by Untap Burn Spell again.
Well, there's Lightning Bolt. This is going to take the denial down. Now, if Sayed uses the Canyon, and he does, he has 2 looks for a lethal spell.
Let's go. Did we find it?
Word of Foothills, there's Boros Charm. That'll do it.
Man.
Zan Sayed 2-0 over Russell Lee.
Yeah, making it look easy there. Zan 8-0 with Burn, and neither of those games were very close. I mean, I guess you could say that one was close, but that's like Burn